Good morning, everyone, and welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about we finished basic training. We're going to Fort Hood. Let's head out. Let me tell you how that went.
Okay, so after basic training, they're going to give you a couple weeks to spend with your family. I had a couple weeks and I went back to Maryland. My parents flew down for the graduation, did the whole parade field thing, very emotional time. You are in the best physical shape of your life, most likely. You're ready to go home. You're going to get a little time before you have to go to your duty station. When you leave basic training, you will have your orders. Like I had my orders for Fort Hood, Texas. Okay, I had a little grace period before I had to go down, and that's where we get off next. All right, so this was probably my first realization that the world had not slowed down just because you were gone. So I get back to Maryland. It was awesome. I was back. I flew in on a Wednesday. All right, so like I expected people to be waiting for me, and like, oh man, he's home. That's awesome. You've only been gone for 17 weeks, man. Life has not stopped for everybody else, and that's one thing I had to realize, that my friends, they're at work. It's a Wednesday at like 2 p.m. They're at work. Like, life did not stop for everyone else just because you went away for a little bit and then you came back. Now, on the weekend, I got to see those guys, but it wasn't the same as what it used to be. It definitely wasn't the same, and I'm kind of going to go into that a little bit for you. Now, some of the guys I ran into, my parents had like a little welcoming thing or hey, welcome back kind of deal on the weekend. Some of the guys I ran into, they were still very much a part of the life that I had waved bye-bye to, okay? They were still definitely into, smoking weed, selling drugs, doing things they shouldn't be doing. I'd say goodbye to that. The military is what got me out of that shit. And to run into some of these guys were asking me ridiculous, stupid questions, dude. Like, yo, did you shoot anybody? I'm like, in basic training? Like, no. Like, I didn't do anything like that. They're like, oh, really? Oh, okay. You climb ropes? Yeah, we climbed a shitload of ropes. Like, I got to see that I moved on a step, and these guys didn't. A lot of them did. A lot of them were in college. Like my buddy Justin, my best buddy forever, man. That dude was doing good things, man. Some guys were not. Some guys had stayed very stagnant and still stuck in their ways, very much so. And I remember, like, as I was kind of like, having some drinks and enjoying myself and enjoying time with everybody, I was like, I could see myself. I don't really have much in common with that dude anymore. Or you know what? I don't care if I really talk to that guy much anymore. Or that girl, she's old news, man. Like, it was nothing for me anymore. That I was ready to move ahead with my life, and some of these guys were still in the same spot. Now, like I'm saying, I'm not trying to disrespect these guys or anything. It's just that I think we were on two different playing fields on where we were in our lives. That's all that is, okay? So don't throw any hate on that one. Anyways, the time expends, and I am ready to go to Texas. It's my time to leave. Just as soon as I came back, I'm ready to go back again. This is something you will get used to in the military. You are going to have small encounters and small times of leave or small times to spend with your family, and then you are off again. That is the way it goes. So this is way back in the day. We're talking 2005. So like I had to print off MapQuest directions on how to get to Texas. And you on a piece of paper, you're looking at it. Cell phones were not advanced like that. I think we had TomToms maybe back then, like the GPS shit, whatever. So we print off these pages. It's like 3 pages of shit. My mom's explaining to me, she was like, Luke, this is like a 24-hour ride from where I was in Maryland to Fort Hood, Texas. Like, this is like a 24-hour ride. And so I kind of made a plan. I was like, well, I'm going to try to break it up into 3 days. And, just drive down. Because I wanted to take my car. I had a car that I was going to take down there. And I was like, all right. So my parents loaded up a cooler full of, like, energy drinks and coffee drinks and shit like that and waters. And my parents were like, okay, just, be safe. Get down there. Give us a call when you get down there. All right. We hit the road. Let's get on it. So I exit, driving down, cruising through. First spot you're going through is you are going through Virginia. You are going from north to south of Virginia, kind of like a little diagonal line there. You're going down into Virginia, all right? Once you get into Virginia, you are getting into Tennessee. Tennessee is a big-ass state, okay? And I had stopped off. I think I drove 10 hours the first day. That night I stayed in a hotel, like a little shitty like Nights Inn or something, like $40 hotels, man. That hotel, there was like a boot print on the door. Like I think that would actually been a murder scene at some point, man. I didn't care. I'd already been driving for like 10 hours. I'm in somewhere in Tennessee. I don't even know. Wake up the next day, still driving through Tennessee. I get into Arkansas. Arkansas is, I've never seen no shit like this, man. That was some just desolate shit. Flat, just, I mean, there's nothing going on in Arkansas that I could notice, man. I mean, flat as shit. That night I tried to actually stay at a rest stop and just close my eyes for a little bit. Fuck that. No. Rest stops are weird. There's all times of night, it'd be random people walking around. I'm like, it's fucking like 3 a.m, man. Like, there is some weird shit going on at rest stops. I don't really mess with rest stops. Now, if it's like a big, like a Pilot or something like that, like kind of like a gas station, but an actual rest stop, there is weird shit going on at rest stops, man. Even them bathrooms just to go take a piss. I was like, fuck this, I'll piss in this jug. I'm not messing with some weird things going on there. Definitely saw some prostitutes. Whatever was going on there. Let's keep it moving. I only slept for like maybe an hour or two. I'm like, fuck this, let's get into Arkansas. So, well, we're into Arkansas. So, into Arkansas, I'm done driving. I need some actual sleep. I stop off. I see signs for Little Rock, Arkansas. I'm like, okay. Never been to Little Rock. Let's go. All right. Stop off at Little Rock, Arkansas. Actually get a hotel room. Here we go. This hotel I check into, it's like a mom and pop hotel. It's cozy. It's in on the outskirts of Little Rock. So I'm like, all right, we'll stay here. I am in this hotel room, and it's kind of, I don't know, it's like maybe 8 o'clock at night. It's warm out. You know, we're in like May. So I'm like, all right, you know what, man? I want to do something. I mean, I'm old enough. I can go get a drink, whatever. Like I can do this, you know. Let's do this, whatever. So there is a strip club. There is a strip club like almost like right next to the hotel. I don't know if they made that there for a reason, but whatever, man. I'm like, you know what, whatever. Let's go get a drink. I wasn't really trying to drive, drinking and driving, so I was like, all right, let's just go over there. So I go to this strip club, very dingy, very dark little strip club, and I'm not looking to get lap dances or anything. I'm looking to get a beer, maybe a burger or something, and like just relax. I'm sitting at the bar for like 5 minutes. I don't even remember if it was a male or female bartender. Spotty points of the night. I do remember this though. Some girl comes out to me. Hey, baby. I look over. This girl has no business being a stripper. I hate to say it, but this maybe another option for her would be assistant janitor or something. Like I don't know, like what. Not trying to be rude, but shouldn't have been a stripper. Okay, I don't think she met all the guidelines for that whole stripping thing. Anyways, she's like, "You want to dance?" I was like, "I'm good for now. Catch me in a little bit, like maybe, maybe." And she's like, "Okay." So I go over and start playing some pool. It's just me. There's not a lot of people in there. I'm playing some pool. I'm sitting down drinking a beer. I think I'm drinking a shot or something too. This girl comes back up to me. She was like, "Hey, you ready for that dance?" I was like, "Not yet. Let me get like 1 or 2 more of these in me. I'm good. Not yet though. I'm good. I appreciate it." She's like, "Okay." And she introduces herself. I don't remember her name. Don't hold me to that. I can imagine it would be like Jasmine or God forbid Destiny or something like that. But I'm sitting there and we're just having small talk. Not many girls are dancing on stage. It's a very dimly lighted place. So I hear the bartender yell something at her, and she's like, oh, hold on, my food's ready. This chick gets up, goes to the bar, comes back, and this chick has a plate of nachos. A plate of nachos, okay? Refried beans, cheese, you name it. This bitches are loaded. Try some jalapenos on there. I just remember it was a big ass plate of nachos. And she's sitting there talking to me. And she's eating these nachos. And then I heard the DJ get up and they're like, hey, whatever her name was, like I said, I don't remember it. They're like, now on stage number 2, let's give it up for, and her name. And she's like, oh, that's me. You gonna come watch? I was like, yeah, I'll come over. I'll walk over, whatever. That chick gets up on stage, big ass heels and everything. I look up and this bitch has a refried bean and half a chip on her high thigh. No joke. There is straight up on her thigh. And I looked up, I was like, oh my God, there is half a nacho on that girl's leg right now. Please don't tell me this bitch wants me to eat that thing off. Like, that is not happening. Like, nah, I'm good. That didn't happen, by the way. But she's doing her dance and, like, the chip falls up on the ground. She didn't even notice it. And I actually did. I gave the girl $30 for her lap dance. I think that was out of the kindness of my heart. Not that I'm a strapping man, but she knew that I just got out of basic training. I was going to Texas. Like, be very selective what you tell these girls. Don't tell them where you're staying. Nothing like that. Whatever. So we talked for a minute, and she's like, you going to hang around for a while? I was like, yeah. She's like, oh, I'm going to the bathroom, powder my nose. Dude, I hit the road quick, man. I went back to the bar. I knocked back like 2 shots. Back to my hotel room. Let's get ready for the next ride. All right, so I sleep that night. Wake up early. I'm like, let's get into Texas. Let's go. We power through the rest of this drive through Arkansas. I start seeing signs for Texarkana, okay? It's the border right there into Texas. I'm thinking, cool, Fort Hood's not that far away. Yeah, right, man. I'm getting my first impression of how large this state is of Texas. Ain't no way, man. I got into Texarkana. Already been driving a few more hours. It's like Dallas, it's like almost like 4 hours to Dallas or 4 or 5 hours to Dallas. I'm like, what the hell, man? Like, are you serious? To Dallas? And I know Dallas is another like 3.5 hours away from Fort Hood. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me, man. Like, what? Like, oh my God, man. Seriously? Like, I'm done driving. I don't want to drive anymore. I'm like, whatever. Power through. But I also know that I don't want to get to Fort Hood too early. I have to be there in 2 days. I'm going to probably stay in another hotel probably before so I could show up the next or the day of and report before my time that I got to be there. I remember seeing all these car dealerships getting into Texas. Like old football players, like the Dallas Cowboys had a tight end, Jay Novacek. It was like, Jay Novacek Chevrolet, come on down. Like a big picture of him on like a billboard. And like, I just started like just seeing nothing but trucks. Like it's Texas. I mean, I personally love Texas. Texas was cool as shit to me. I liked how steady the kind of weather was. It was warm and then kind of warm. Not really freezing, like not like what Maryland would be. So I'm driving, we get past Dallas. I'm like, Fort Hood is like, at this point, like 2 hours away. I'm like, let's just get there. So I get there, and this is what happens. You're going to do the same thing you did at basic training. You are going to go into reception battalion, but first you got to get on post. Hey, look, I showed them my ID. I'm like, hey, I'm arriving from basic training. I'm here. Here's my orders. Not that they really cared about that. They gave me like a temporary driving pass. I get on Fort Hood. This is where you're going to go. This is your building. I get in there. Reception battalion or receiving for the active military. Here we come. Now at this point, when you get to receiving for the active army, you don't know what unit you're going to. You don't know. All I knew is I had orders for the 1st Cavalry Division. Okay? That's what I had orders for. I didn't know where I was going in the 1st Cav. I just knew that that's where I was going. So in reception, this is much shorter than what it was for me for basic reception. Like I was only there maybe like 5 days, but we weren't doing any PT or anything like that. You were pretty much waking up, having an accountability formation. Hey, this is the dining facility. This is where you eat. Wasn't like basic training at all. You are in the Army now. Okay, so you have timelines for everything, very similar to what basic training was in the timeline thing, but this is when we offer, this is where lunch chow is, where dinner chow is, your dining facility right here. You're going to show them your ID card, they're going to scan it, you're going to eat. This is the barracks, you have to be in here. You lock down at 2100 night, or at 9 o'clock at nighttime. You are here. I ran into some of the guys I was in basic with. I was like, oh, they started showing up. I started seeing guys. Not that too many guys went with me, but probably about 6 or 7 went to Fort Hood with me. And I'm talking to these guys, and some of them did not drive down, some of them flew in, like it's whatever. But I'm starting to see, okay, so this is receiving. This is where you have all your military gear and everything. You're ready for the Army, and now it's just learning how to do the job. Okay, and I'm gonna get right into what the job is right now. So some kind of a sergeant or somebody shows up and they're like, hey, starts pointing out a couple of us, hey, you guys right here, yeah, this is your, I guess you would call them your soon-to-be sergeant, or I don't know, they're like your welcoming, like, hey, how you doing, I'm here to pick you guys up, you're coming to this is where you're going, this is where your unit is, they're gonna take you and they're gonna show you where the barracks are, where you're gonna be staying. It's when I met my first NCO, Sergeant Gallardo. Cool dude. I'll go into some more stories about him. We served together for a long time. But we grab our bags. We head over. I thought I was going to an infantry battalion. I was not. Okay? I was sent to a scout squadron. Okay? So I lived in it. There's troops that make up a squadron. I was being sent to Bravo Troop. There was no other infantry guys in this troop except for the guys that I had that were already there, but they were a part of a headquarters platoon, and they were all 11 Charlies. Everybody else was a scout. Okay? Scouts are cool dudes. Scouts are combat, MOS trained. Like, these guys they're called 19 Deltas. All these scouts I met were cool dudes. All of them. All the guys I served with, great guys. Some of my best friends I've ever made were scouts. They needed 11 Charlies, guys that could fire mortars. We're going to a scout squadron. I had not experienced anything like this. I didn't know what a Bradley was. I didn't know the way you're trained in basic training is light infantry. A lot of guys are either going airborne, and to the guys that are probably going mechanized, like what I ended up, they're going to probably end up in a Bradley. Never had any experience with that in basic training. Nothing like that. So we get to the barracks. I see the barracks. No. I must be in the wrong place. These bitches should be condemned. Like, they showed me to my room. Number one, when you walk in the barracks, I hear guys running around the hallways. There's guys running around in towels and shit. It kind of looks like a frat or a dorm. And I'm like, what the hell is this? And like, they all know we're new. They're yelling at us and shit. They put us in a room. It was me and 2 other guys. 2 of them guys were scouts. They're putting 4 men to a room. Okay? We have your foot lockers. I mean, you have a big stand-up locker. Not much privacy. I mean, it's an open room, and there's 4 guys living in there. It's a bigger room, but regardless. I'm like, oh, shit. Like, am I in the right place? Like, I didn't think it would be like glitz and glamour or the Ritz or anything, but I'm like, damn, all right. And it smelled terrible, and like, I'm like, shit. All right. So my sergeant, he was like, hey, look, just get your stuff unpacked. Kind of chill for the night. Look, tomorrow, because we got there, it was a Friday. He was like, look, normally we'd have PT in the morning and things. He's like, but it's a Saturday. You guys are going to stay the weekend. And then on Monday, look, we will be in PT. Like, you will be dressed in this uniform, and I will be here at your room at 5 in the morning, and I'm going to show you where the PT field is, where we do PT, everything. So that weekend, all we did is I got to meet people in the barracks. Definitely some drinking involved. Definitely, hey, welcome. And a lot of these guys were like, you're an infantry guy. What the hell are you doing here? Like, what? Like, oh, yeah, there's a couple of the other infantry guys that are already in headquarters platoon, but we didn't know. We were like, hey, man, this is where they sent us. We don't know. These guys were very welcoming. like I said, great guys, really cool people. Some of the scouts are still my best friends today, or we're really tight. So that weekend was nothing but drinking, partying, hanging out, learning what barracks life was. I mean, any given time there'd be people with their doors open. You walk by, what's up, man? Come on in, man. You want to watch the baseball? You want to watch football? Like, it was cool. It was meeting all these guys. Where are you from? You know, come to find out you're starting to make those bonds. So that's the way it was when I first got to Fort Hood. I'm going to tell you in my next video here what the job is for Combat Arms. It's going to be a good one. Stick around, guys. But that was my trip for getting down to Texas, getting into my unit, and we'll go from there. But, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe. It goes a long way. And for all you guys that are watching but you're not clicking the subscribe button, please click the subscribe button. Please. Thank you. All right. Thank you so much, guys. Have a good one.